What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I just wanted to do a video on the two things that are holding FC25 post-patch, obviously, from being the best FC game and all-around football game in the last decade. And one of them is not game-related at all, and the other one has to do with this first aspect. So really, gameplay-wise, there's no problem, right? Many people think that it's ping pong passing like you see here, but the truth is there's absolutely skill. It's just quick passing, and you have to be quick thinking. Maybe it's quicker than real life. Absolutely, I would agree with that, but every video game is going to have a video game aspect. But at the end of the day, you can play football. There are no exploits right now that allow a player to override having skill to win the game, except for just one area, and this is where we'll get into the two things stopping FC from being the best game in a decade, maybe even over a decade, and in my opinion, maybe even ever. I know that's a stretch because old school FIFA's had some great, just nostalgia comes through and just starts kicking you in the butt if you try to say this post-patch version is the best ever. So I won't go there, but the two things are, first, the servers. They take away the skill-based essence of FC25, where there's finally no exploits that can cost you, where finally your quick thinking passing wise, right? Your quick thinking on creating the right pass for creating chances, for defending, manually having to control the defender yourself and move defenders into the right position to intercept passes, to make tackles. All of these kind of things can just be overshadowed when the servers are acting up and the gameplay is not as it typically is. What tends to happen is either one side or the other, sometimes both, just slow down. Everything's a half a second to a second delayed, maybe even more when it's really bad, and it just creates this impossible feeling like there's nothing you can do. You go to shoot the ball, there's a delay, the defender gets it. You go to pass the ball, there's a delay, the defender makes a tackle. You even try to start dribbling, and there's a bit of a delay, and sometimes that half a step you're behind, the defender's able to get the ball. Now, you can feel when it's one-sided, and you can feel when both sides have it, but either way, it takes away from the skilled player. If you would typically win a game, let's say 5-0, when there's all-out lag for even both sides, not just if it's for you, then the other player can easily win no matter how much more skill you have, no matter how bad you typically beat the player. When you both have lag, it's a toss-up, even if you have much more skill than the other player, because that's how much it throws you off. It's essentially like playing with 100-pound weights on your ankles. I mean, just imagine that. Skill goes out the window. So that's what's holding FC back. And the other thing is related to that, which is there's always going to be the rats, and there absolutely are rats that take 100% advantage of the lag, without a doubt. Whether that's because they purposely on their end try to disrupt a smooth connection, or they just literally use lag as a skill. Now, how do you do that? You go all out attack, all out pressure. You don't worry about your positioning at all. You don't worry about even making good passes, because you know that when your opponent has a ball at their feet, the delay is going to cause them to not be able to get the ball at their feet, not make a pass or dribble or whatnot, and they'll come at you full speed, run through you, grab the ball, and then finish a shot off or two or whatever it is. They get to the point where you can't even create anything. You can't even make a pass. Let's say they miss a shot, it comes to your defender, you try to go build up, they just get the ball and come right back at you, and it's pointless. There's no skill in it. It's literally just the lag. There's a delay to the point where you can't react, right? Your players are essentially just glorified cones. So it's really only one thing, and then a part B to that one thing, which is the servers. Everything else in FC is great. There is no particular shot that you can exploit and win the game. There used to be teams that didn't even have to beat the defense. They could just dribble in at a certain angle, finesse from 30-40 yards out, boom, goal. Travella from 30-40, boom, goal. 50-yard, one-time power shot, boom, goal. It didn't matter. They could pack the defense up and just hold R1, never even having to control their defenders, boom, they stopped the opposition's attack. Maybe they would just shoot from wherever, trying to get a corner kick, run Van Dyke to the near post, boom, goal. It didn't matter. There was always exploits, and that's what made these past several years terrible as far as FC went, because you were battling just to try to truly play football. So no matter how fast this game is, no matter how much you want to say it's ping pong passing, it still is football. You can't watch this in these different passing sequences and build up the way the skill moves come off, the different slick touches, right? The way the defense is right now manually, and the way the clean tackles work out straight into the build-up. You can't tell me this doesn't emulate football. These players, more than ever, emulate their real-life selves, and the reason why it's more than ever is because you actually can play football now, right? You're not just going for that one shot every single time because that's the meta. You're not just going for Van Dijk at center back. You can actually, like I'm using Capita at center back. I used Cannavaro previously. For a long time, because of how potent, corners were, not just regular headers, but corners, you couldn't use a Cordoba. You couldn't use a Cannavaro. Now they're excellent. Even the female center backs at, Renard, special cards, Laura Georges, I believe I'm saying the name right. Incredible center backs, incredible cards. It gives you more variety, right? More players can be used and still be meta. And outside of the 4-2-1-3, you can use any formation, and it will still work. Like, you don't have to use a 4-2-1-3. I just released a 4-3-3-2 setup that's actually more players in the attack than the 4-2-1-3 and still very strong defensively. But the reason why so many players are using the 4-2-1-3 are like what you see here. It's just so many options in the attack while still being strong defensively. However, it's not like previous FCs where you couldn't even use other formations or other tactics or anything. You had to use that one meta setup because that's the only way you could, create those chances and score in that one exploit way that only allowed you to, score, because the defense was so clustered and AI driven that it was impossible to create true buildup out of these different tactics, these different formations. But that's not the case now. The only reason why you're seeing one formation now, one tactical setup pretty much, there's a few varieties, but pretty much one, is because it is so powerful in this current meta. Not because you can't use a 4-4-2 and dominate, like Anders Vergang showed. Now, yes, he's the top 1% players, but you absolutely can use a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 narrow or wide or whatever and still be able to compete, still be able to play football, right? It's not going to take away that finesse shot angle that you need to score like back in the day, or that Trivela angle or whatever, because sometimes that's what the setup was based on. I remember when the 4-5-1 was meta, or the 5-4-1, and that was always because there are certain exploits that these setups allowed you to do better than other setups. That's not the case now. So I want to make that clear. If you say like, well, wait a second, it still is one formation dominating the meta, but that's the only reason. Like I just said, it just simply gives you those powerful runs from your wingers, your striker, and then you have Cam and support and still being strong defensively. It's not that the other formations can't be used with the way the meta is right now. So with that being said, if somehow EA Sports is able to fix these servers, which it's been this long and they haven't yet. However, with the way the game was going, I never thought that this kind of change would be made like they did post-patch FC25. So maybe, just maybe, now they can focus on the servers, because there's no doubt that they are aware of this situation. eFootball, even UFL, and any other games in any genre, all the popular games, they have lag. Every game does, but not to this extent. The amount of inconsistent gameplay you face in FC is unlike any other game, right? That's the number one thing holding this back from being just an incredible game. And then the fact that, like anything, if there's something to be exploited, the rats will find a way. And it's a good thing, because now they're not exploiting certain commands, certain shots, passes, whatnot. But it still is a powerful exploit in the sense that when servers are down and you have someone that just throws skill out the window like that, they become very formidable. And it's not deserving at all. So let's hope that EA Sports can truly address the servers. And once they do, as long as they stick to their guns, so to speak, and don't go crazy changing what they did here with this post FC25 patch, we are in very good shape for the future of this franchise, which is incredible to say after how long we waited. So just want to put that out there. So far, so good this weekend as far as servers goes. By the way, I had one terribly laggy game, and it wasn't the totally unplayable type of lag. Anybody who plays FC knows what I'm talking about. It wasn't just a drop frame, can't even do anything, might as well quit. It was everything severely slowed down, but I was able to overcome it to a certain extent. It got down to the wire, and then at the end of it, it just was a bit unfortunate. Played a player that I've played several times. His PSN is Hold My Coco. I'm interested if you guys have ever played Hold My Coco. Let me know if every time you play him it's the same type of shenanigans, if you will. He's absolutely one of those players I'm talking about that 1000% utilizes lag as a skill. You can tell there's no type of any type of defense, any type of strategy other than just run at you as fast as he can and try to get the ball off your feet. And you can absolutely see it every time you play him. But that is what it is. If EA Sports is able to fix the servers, those type of players will go away. But why I brought that up is because that's the only loss on the sheet. Other than that, it's been dominant performances. You've seen the highlights, and I will update you on the rest. I'm having a blast. I hope your champs went well or is going well. And let's try to get on EA Sports for this. One last thing. Obviously, our voices were heard. It took a while. But if we can get them to truly fix the servers, or at least give us some answers on why the gameplay is so inconsistent and why they haven't done anything about the servers, at least we could then know. With that being said, keep grinding. Keep having fun. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Here's how the home side lines up. Edwin van der Sar stands between the posts. Ibrahima Konate plays alongside Rafael Varane as centre-backs. And in attack, Gareth Bale starts alongside Harry Kane. And we haven't had to wait long for the opening goal. Neymar. Dani Olmo. Good defending to end a decent-looking attack. Could be dangerous.